Welcome to A Course in Miracles, Lesson 35. My mind is part of God's. I am very holy. Today's idea does not describe the way you see yourself now. It does, however, describe what vision will show you. It is difficult for anyone who thinks he is in this world to believe this of himself. Yet the reason he thinks he is in this world is because he does not believe it. You will believe that you are part of where you think you are. That is because you surround yourself with the environment you want. And you want it to protect the image of yourself that you have made. The image is part of this environment. What you see, while you believe you are in it, is seen through the eyes of the image. This is not vision. Images cannot see. The idea for today presents a very different view of yourself. By establishing your source, it establishes your identity. And it describes you as you must really be in truth. We will use a somewhat different kind of application for today's idea, because the emphasis for today is on the perceiver rather than on what he perceives. For each of the 3 5-minute practice periods today, begin by repeating today's idea to yourself, and then close your eyes and search your mind for the various kinds of descriptive terms in which you see yourself. Include all the ego-based attributes which you ascribe to yourself, positive or negative, desirable or undesirable, grandiose or debased. All of them are equally unreal because you do not look upon yourself through the eyes of holiness. In the earlier part of the mind-searching period, you will probably emphasize what you consider to be the more negative aspects of your perception of yourself. Toward the latter part of the exercise period, however, more self-inflating descriptive terms may well cross your mind. Try to recognize that the direction of your fantasies about yourself does not matter. Illusions have no direction in reality. They are merely not true. I'm going to pause here for a moment and share the image that comes to my mind is funhouse mirrors at a carnival. They cannot show you your true self. And we look at life through eyes that are distorted, that are blinded by misperception and preconception. A suitable, unselected list for applying the idea for today might be as follows. I see myself as imposed on. I see myself as depressed. I see myself as failing. I see myself as endangered. I see myself as helpless. I see myself as victorious. I see myself as losing out. I see myself as charitable. I see myself as virtuous. You should not think of these terms in an abstract way. They will occur to you as various situations, personalities, and events in which you figure across your mind. Pick up any specific situation that occurs to you. Identify the descriptive term or terms you feel are applicable to your reactions to that situation, and use them in applying today's idea. After you have named each one, add, but my mind is part of God's. I am very holy. I'm going to pause here and share some thoughts on ego. The egoic mind, the false self, the mask. It doesn't know how to see others as equal. It's always jockeying for position. It's always trying to get ahead, or it sees itself as behind. It can never see itself as walking with arm's length with others. It can't see itself as outside of this manic race that it thinks it's in. And it also struggles to not create hierarchies in terms of higher than or lower than. And when you've picked an identity, just like this lesson is teaching us, when you've picked an identity, then the mind tries to support that identity. And if you've chosen the identity as a victim or as an incompetent person or someone who's less than others, then the mind will continually try to keep that perception for you. And ego is very interesting because when your perception is I'm less than, it will try to prove that to you in a myriad of ways. And then, let's say by some stroke of luck, you achieve some great feat and it becomes impossible for you to think of yourself as less than. Now the ego will immediately, instead of letting you sense your equality, that there's no one above, there's no one below. Instead of letting you sense that, your ego will immediately try to convince you that you're better than. Oh, well look, you're higher than everyone else now. You're better than. Your social status has gone up. Look at those little peons down there. You're amazing. It's really interesting how the ego is insane. It literally will spend half a lifetime convincing someone they're garbage and then the other half convincing them they're better than everyone else. But what the ego will never do is tell you the truth. The truth is that there is no one above you and there's no one below you. All are your equal. You should not think of these terms in an abstract way. They will occur to you as various situations, personalities, and events in which you figure across your mind. So think of a situation in your life and then sit with that. How are you describing yourself in relation to that situation? Oh, I'm the hero in this story. I might be the villain in this story. Oh, I've been completely forgotten and left out of that story. After you have named each one, add. But my mind is part of God's. I am very holy. During the longer exercise periods, there will probably be intervals in which nothing specific occurs to you. Do not strain to think up specific things to fill the interval, but merely relax and repeat today's idea slowly until something occurs to you. Although nothing that does occur should be omitted from the exercises, nothing should be dug out with effort. Let it flow to you. Neither force nor discrimination should be used. As often as possible during the day, pick up a specific attribute or attributes you are ascribing to yourself at the time and apply the idea for today to them, adding the idea in the form stated above to each of them. If nothing particular occurs to you, merely repeat the idea to yourself with closed eyes. My mind is part of God's. I am very holy. Thank you for joining me today. I'll see you tomorrow for lesson 36. Mwah.